6:31, let's get started, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the MSBA monthly report.
Welcome to the September edition of the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report. A new school year means a first stress test for your budget. Actual enrollment, transportation miles, salaries, benefits, and fixed costs can shift fast. So when do you amend? MSBA Senior Director of School Finance, Linda Quinley, explains what to watch for in the first month of the new school year.
This time of year, it is really, in my mind, about a first good budget amendment to clean up what you thought might be the case in June, because now we have some final pieces of data that help us do that. Those being, we know what our final assessed valuation is, we know what our tax rates are, and by the end of September, we'll know what our membership count is for the fall, and we start getting some of those big pieces that then tell us what revenue is going to really look like for the year.
Linda says that districts need to communicate budget issues with the community to make the process understandable.
I think that's critically important. It's always time to tell your story, but right now sharing an understanding around local revenue, I think, is the biggest community message, because we are seeing some high increases in assessed valuation. That immediately makes people think their taxes are going way up. So helping your community understand that the Hancock Amendment is there to protect them from that, and how that impacts the net change in their property taxes is huge. I think also helping the community understand and pay attention to what might happen after the state legislature gets done with the work on the formula, and then more importantly, even just because of the variety of lines, paying close attention to federal program dollars, particularly in high need districts, because the higher need districts get the larger amounts of federal dollars.
Linda says there are many reasons that districts of every size should take part in long-range financial planning.
I am a huge fan and proponent of simple but clear long-range financial planning, and it's not something a lot of districts have done. Larger districts tend to do it, but I believe that every district, every size in Missouri needs to have a very simple, it doesn't have to be overly complicated, long-range financial planning model, because our commitments are growing based on statute and a variety of things, but our revenues are flattening and or declining, and so long-range financial planning is just going to set a board up to know, in collaboration with leadership, where and when you might hit some bumps in the road so that you can be proactive and plan for those ahead of time.
Linda and her team will have a School Finance for School Board Members workshop during the MSBA annual conference, as well as multiple concurrent sessions on finance. Speaking of annual conference, registration is still open for the 2025 MSBA Annual Conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators and the Missouri Association of School Business Officials, to be held October 23rd through the 25th in Kansas City. The event will once again feature numerous breakout sessions and workshops, many presented by school leaders from districts throughout the state, the Education Expo, and another great lineup of general session speakers. Pre-conference sessions start on Wednesday, the 22nd, with the AI in Education Symposium. MSBA's Director of Digital Initiatives, Mark Henderson, says that the event has something for everyone, regardless of your AI expertise or experience level.
AI is transforming education right now. Are you prepared to lead the changes in your district? At this one-day event, we'll explore how AI supports learning and how school leaders like you can lead with confidence. We'll kick off with Kim Carr, co-founder and executive director of Digital for Good and I Can Help, a nationally recognized leader in digital wellness and online safety education. Then you'll experience expert sessions led by practicing educators, technology professionals, legal experts, and student voices covering AI implementation in classrooms, cybersecurity, policy development, career readiness, and more.
Thursday, the 23rd, is filled with workshops and events for new board members and board secretaries, plus timely sessions on finance, parliamentary procedure, and more. The Fall Delegate Assembly will be held on the Friday of Annual Conference. The Delegate Assembly is the chance to have your voice heard on issues surrounding public education as we head toward the next legislative session. That's it for this month. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and we'll see you in October for the next MSBA Board Report.
So, for those who don't know, Linda Quinley there was appointed to the task force for the modernization of the school funding. So, Governor Kehoe appointed her, so that's good news for public schools.
Thanks, Josh. All right, next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Phrase that. Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have public participation. Board members and administrators will listen to concerns and will respond when appropriate by mail or telephone at a later date. In order to speak during public participation, a public comment form must be filled out and submitted to the board president prior to the beginning of the meeting. Per policy BDDH-1, public participation at board meetings, the following rules will apply to the public comment portion of the meeting. Public comment period will not exceed 15 minutes. No individual will be permitted to speak more than once during this period. Each speaker will be allotted no more than 5 minutes. Discussion will be limited to items from the posted agenda. All speakers must provide name and address prior to speaking. And if there is insufficient time for everyone to speak, the board encourages participants to submit their questions in writing or utilize the process for putting an item on the agenda. I do have 4 comment cards. Do you have any others? Yes, sir. Prior to that, on behalf of the board, I want to read the following statement. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to begin by thanking families for taking the time to share their perspectives this evening. We understand that families hold a variety of views, and we respect the right of parents to express their concerns. We have many opportunities for parent and citizen input across our district, and it is always part of every decision we make. At the same time, I want to affirm our support for our professional teachers and administrators who thoughtfully select instructional materials to align with Missouri learning standards and to align with reading age, interest level, and developmental assessment. Materials are also selected to prepare students for future learning, to encourage critical thinking, and to foster student learning and respect for all. Our district motto here at St. Genevieve is family, tradition, excellence. That begins with family. Because it reflects the heart of who we are, we celebrate both the ways we are alike and the ways we are different. We continually review our curriculum to ensure it remains age appropriate and reflects a wide range of perspectives, and we value input from families as part of that ongoing process. We are committed to creating classrooms where every child feels included. As we move into the comment period, I would ask all participants to remain respectful. Our goal during public comment, as always, is to listen and ensure every voice is heard. I would ask, as you come to speak, you go up to the podium and speak into the microphone. I'm sure it moves up and down, doesn't it, Bailey? I have 4 speakers. Each person, as noted previously, will have a maximum of 5 minutes. Mr. Bosler has the clock. The first person I have is Ms. Hope Doherty.
Let me just start?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we get a good evening?
Good evening.
evening.
Good evening. Okay. When I put my phone down last night, I found myself second guessing if I made the right choice speaking up. But after thought and prayer, I know that I did, and Scripture tells us to speak the truth in love, and that is what I intend to do tonight. I want to begin by saying this is not an attack on our teachers. I believe every teacher in this district loves our children and wants what is best for them. My speaking out is not about undermining teachers, but about shining light on an issue that reaches far beyond one classroom. Over the last 24 hours, I have been called anti-gay, a bigot, attention seeker, homophobe, and other names. But I want to be clear that I am none of those things. I'm not against anyone's family, and I am simply a mother who believes that God has entrusted me with the responsibility to raise my children in truth, and part of that responsibility is being an informed parent in their education. And the book Stella Brings the Family tells the story of a little girl with 2 dads who feels unsure about who to invite to her school's Mother's Day celebration. While I respect that families do look different, the storyline introduces same-sex parenting to 5 and 6-year-old children. Many of us that I have spoken with do not believe that this is age appropriate. It takes away from a sacred role that belongs to parents, deciding when and how to introduce sensitive moral issues to their children. What troubles me even more is the double standard. Parents have messaged me saying their children were not allowed to bring a religious book or item for their specials week. If inclusion is truly the goal, why can a child be excluded from sharing something meaningful about their faith, while a book promoting same-sex parenting is required in the curriculum? This is not inclusion, that is exclusion under the name of inclusion. I want to be clear, I am not asking this district to teach my faith in the classroom, nor am I trying to push my beliefs on anyone else. What I am asking for is fairness, that if a religious content is excluded from lessons, then parents of faith should be at least given the right to opt out when books or materials conflict with our beliefs. We already signed permission slips for our kids to watch PG movies. We signed permission slips for sex education. Yet when it came to this book, no parent was given the chance to consent or to opt out. And this is not just frustrating, it's unfair. This isn't my opinion. In 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court decided Mahmoud versus Taylor, a case that made clear that parents can excuse their children from classes that do involve LGBTQ inclusive books or themes, even when these books are part of the school's official curriculum. The court reaffirmed that parents have a constitutional right to direct their child's upbringing and education, and that forcing participation without notice or consent is unlawful. I also understand this. I may not have the right to demand that this book be removed from the district completely, but what I do have, and what we all have, is the right to be informed and the right to opt our children out of any instruction that conflicts with our faith and moral convictions. This is not just a matter of policy, it's a matter of parental rights, and it is a matter of faith. This isn't about attacking anyone or excluding anyone's child. It is about fairness, and it is about transparency. And most importantly, it is about honoring the God-given responsibility of parents to raise their children in accordance with their values. So I respectfully ask the board to remove Stella Brings the Family from the required kindergarten curriculum, or at the very least, establish a clear opt-out system with written parental consent for any books or materials that deal with sensitive, controversial topics. I'm not here to divide, but I can't stay silent when parental rights are being sidelined. Silence changes nothing, but courage can make all the difference.
Thank you, Hope. Second, I have Ms. Stephanie Herzog.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I am Stephanie Herzog. I am one of 9 kindergarten teachers in the district. This is my 19th year teaching kindergarten and 21st year in the district. For the past week and a half, kindergarten teachers at St. Genevieve Elementary and Bloomsdale Elementary have been under fire for reading the book Stella Brings the Family to our students during our board-approved curriculum, Family Unit of Instruction, during the week of September 8th through the 12th. In the story, Stella has a dilemma because there is a Mother's Day event at school and she doesn't have a mother. Students in the story are eagerly discussing who they plan to invite. Stella isn't sure what to do because she has 2 dads. Throughout the story, Stella tells classmates who reads to her at home, who packs her lunch, who makes her feel better, and so on. Stella decided that she's going to invite her family to the event, which included Daddy, Papa, Nana, Aunt Gloria, Uncle Bruno, and Cousin Lucy. Stella then gets busy preparing for the party. The day comes, Stella has her family in attendance, and everyone enjoys the event. Throughout the story, it is never stated that Stella's dads are married or gay. It could be interpreted that they are actually Stella's dad and stepfather. After reading the story, we talked about our families. My family may not look like your family. Growing up, I had a nuclear family with a dad, mom, an older and younger sister, along with several dogs, multiple cats, goldfish, and once we had an unruly hamster that my sister and I just had to have. My situation may differ from yours, but that is okay because we all have a family. Students then drew pictures of their family. Some drew pictures of parents, grandparents, siblings, and even their pets. Just like Stella, we also have diversity in our classroom. Some students have 2 moms and 2 dads. Some students live with grandparents. Some students might have a step-sibling that only spends the night on the weekend or every other week. Some students are raised by single parents. Some students have young parents. Some have older parents. Some students are a military family that might have a parent or sibling away from home serving our great country. Some students are placed in foster care and live with an unfamiliar family until they hopefully can go back to their home. And sadly, some students are grieving the loss of a parent or grandparent. Kindergarten teachers did not introduce students to gay marriages or same-sex couples. That was never the purpose of the lesson. Those words were never spoken to the students in our classroom. Misinformation has been conveyed to our community, and that is untrue. While we may not always agree on the same topics, I feel it is safe to say that we all agree everyone has a family, regardless how the family looks, and we all want our children and our students that we love like our own to succeed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Stephanie. Next, I have Carrie Staffen.
Don't worry, Eric. I'm not going to take up your time. I think those two did a great job. And if there are any questions, I just will make myself available for answers for any questions that you may have. That goes for everybody. Thank you.
Final one I have is Christina Rudolph-Guilford. Or you just like to make the noise?
I don't know what I got my glasses on.
I got mine on too. Hold on. All right. You hear me now? Good evening. For those of you who may not know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Christina Rudolph-Guilford. I am an 18-year teacher of this district. I grew up, I was raised here. I am also the current president of the SGNA National Teacher Association. I'm also a parent of 3 SG kids. Well, the past couple weeks have been interesting, to say the least. Eye-opening. I'm not sure how I should approach this, but I've had many people come to me and ask me what I should do. Many colleagues. So I actually have a pile of information here. Various data points, adopted resolutions, position papers from various respective entities and organizations in education. I also have a trunk full of books to show you what's in our libraries, what's good for kids. Now I'm going to need these readers. As an educator and a union president, I sincerely thank the Board of Education for their continued support of our district. Your commitment empowers our educators to foster empathy, understanding, and inclusivity in their classrooms, creating safe and welcoming spaces where all students can thrive. I also appreciate your support in promoting diversity and creativity and curriculum development. This allows our teachers to design lessons where students are not only engaged, but truly empowered, seeing themselves, their cultures, and their communities reflected in what they learn. This meaningful representation strengthens both student identity and connection, enriching the educational experience for all. As a parent, I am especially grateful that our district allows my children to be fully themselves. They are learning in an environment where they are not afraid to speak up, ask questions, or simply be who they are without fear of judgment. The educators throughout our schools have created spaces where they feel seen, valued, and like they truly belong. That sense of belonging is something every parent hopes their child will have, and I thank you for making that a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the comment cards I have. Thank you all 4. I appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the report of the superintendent.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We're going to move on to something a little more boring. We have first day of school enrollment numbers. I look forward to these every year, and it's a quick turnaround because we cover these in September, and then at the end of September, September 30th is another count date where we'll collect additional information to see how many students have transferred out, how many students have transferred in, and kind of where we stand for the school year. So if we look at pre-K and early childhood special education, I changed that early childhood special education to be part-time pre-K since we transitioned to the early childhood center and added 36 more students to our early childhood. It didn't seem to make sense to split it out that way. So in the chart, it says part-time pre-K. So you can see at Bloomsdale Elementary, we have 12 full-time and 7 part-time. At St. Genevieve Elementary, which should actually say St. Genevieve Early Childhood Center, it should be 38 full-time and 42 part-time. So that's a total of 99 total students in our early childhood program. I think that's pretty spectacular. And absolutely. This wonderful building. Next. If we look at kindergarten through 5th, you can see the numbers at Bloomsdale and St. Genevieve Elementary. There's a total at Bloomsdale of 281. Now remember, this is on the first day of school. I can feel the principals looking at me saying, "That's not right. It's not right." It's changed so much since then. But this is the first day of school number for 281 for Bloomsdale, St. Genevieve Elementary at 596. And that gets us to a total in our elementary schools of 887 K through 5. We're up 8 from last year. 6th through 8th grade, middle school is at 408, they're down 5. And high school, 9 through 12, is at 552, they're down 16. So if you look at it from a district level overall, on the right side in red, you'll see 24-25 numbers. And on the left side, you will see current numbers. That's without early childhood. So we're down 13 there, but if we add the 36 early childhood students in there, we're actually up overall. So that's our first day of school enrollment. And next month I'll have September 30th enrollment for you as well. Kind of do a little comparison. Next on the superintendent's report is the technology report from Ms. Toombs.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Nancy Toombs, Director of Technology. Although it feels like we didn't, looking at my report, it doesn't feel like we did a whole lot. We actually did because we added on this beautiful building and the transportation depot. We bought another set of Chromebooks, and we're slowly rotating down into the elementary with the extras that we had. High school, we did 9th and 8th grade this year. The middle school, we rotated down, and into the elementary, we rotated down our Lenovo Gen 3 Chromebooks. And we do maintain Chromebooks for each student K-12. We have completed all of our Windows migrations to Windows 11. Windows 10 is going to be unsupported here shortly, so we are up to date with all of that. Our backbone, we pretty much just maintained this year, and of course we added the 2 buildings. With safety, we have added more cameras and a new server. We've maintained our internet filter services. Our Crisis Go app is also ongoing with additional training. We have added a whole slew of new radios into the district, and we are still working to get every teacher a radio. We feel like we have both elementaries covered and the early childhood center. We've still got some in the middle and high to get. We've upgraded our endpoint detection system to a totally new system this year. And our systems are protected with our multi-factor authentication. And we're implementing a new phishing system with our email system this year. Hope to have that running by the end of the month. We are matching a 50-50 grant. We're replacing some student laptops in the business department. The fax department's going to get a food printer. That ought to be fun. At Auto Mechanics, we are helping with their subscriptions down there with the grant. The computer programming class will support whatever they need. The gifted class, she does a lot of robotics, so we help her with those as well. And then whatever other classes need help, we try and help them with the tech that they would like to implement. We did run an online graduate class. We did teacher tools and implementation in the class, and it's an online class, and the teachers are able to get 3 credit hours through Missouri Baptist. Plan on running another class probably in the spring or right after Christmas. And we did introduce a new teacher hub with some resources. So anybody have any questions? It seemed like we didn't do a whole lot, but with the addition of both buildings, we were really strapped for time this summer, as everybody was. So any questions?
I do want to take a moment. She kind of glosses over that adding 2 buildings piece. Adding the transportation depot onto, I don't know if you call it our hub, our system, and then coming out here and putting this, but she failed to mention we added the STARS building as well, and our maintenance guys had to trench and put a data run over there. It's been a lot, and they've been pulled in a lot of different directions. I just want to say thank you to our technology department. They do a fantastic
We have a great team. We appreciate everything from the board and for administration. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Next on the report of the superintendent, before we get to principals reports, I want to take a moment to remind everyone in the consent agenda, our October meeting is going to be changed. It's scheduled to be October 21st. You all will be heading to the MSBA conference, so we're going to move that up to Monday, October 20th, and have the board meeting on that evening.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is principals reports. I'm sorry, Bethany.
It's okay. One of these days, you won't forget me.
One of these days.
I'm Bethany Ketting, Director of Early Childhood. It's been a very busy and eventful few weeks here at the center, but just so much fun watching all of our young kiddos come in. I'll go ahead and have you. So some of the things we've done the last few weeks, many of them, all of the routines, several of our kiddos had never been in childcare before, or maybe they were in a home-based setting, a different childcare facility in the community. So just learning all of the new rules and routines, everything from how to come in the front door to how to hang up a backpack, how to eat family style, breakfast and lunch, all of those fun things, plus our activities, our centers. We did a couple drills for safety, getting to know each other, talking about our family and what makes each of us special, and learning about emotions and how we can handle those and chat about them at school to help meet our needs. So just so much going on with all of our little friends here at the Early Childhood Center. And then in addition to all of that kind of back to school fun stuff, we also found time when it wasn't too hot to do some outdoor water play. You can see that up there at the top. Some of those grants we had a few years back, we ordered lots and lots of outdoor equipment, but over at the elementary we didn't really have space for it. So all that stuff has gotten to come out now, and the kiddos are really enjoying it. So you see at the top all the water play and outdoor play. We had a dot day celebration, and then we've kind of moved into fall now, kicking off the week with apples. So lots of things on our apple theme, making patterns and sorting by our names, all sorts of fun stuff. And then we started something new this year. On Fridays, we have a dance party at 10:30. Our sound system needs a little work, but the kids love it, and we just pick a different song every Friday, and they dance. So this happened to be, Miss Kreitler was already doing music in the classroom when the dance party started, so they added their instruments. I've been told that you can hear our sound system from the parking lot. So if you're out there at 10:30.
So we showed up with architects for a meeting out in the parking lot, and 10:30 hit, and then there was dance music.
Yeah. So if you're in the area, stop by and dance with us. It's fun. We also started something new, Brag and Dragon. So this is going to be our way to celebrate our preschool students who are caught showing kindness to their friends, helping out their friends and teachers, just kind of those early stages of social emotional development and following routines and directions. So I don't have a lot of them yet because we only started this a couple weeks ago. The faculty and staff kind of worked together to come up with how we wanted to celebrate our students, and we decided on Braggin' Dragons. So we have 4 so far: Aria Fleeg, Henry Lane, Isabel Scoggin, and Kason Smith. All 4 of these friends were either helpful with a teacher, with cleaning up without being asked, putting things back, resetting the room so that their next friends could use the items, or they were helpful when a friend was upset by offering comforting words, hugs, things like that. And then we have our first early childhood faculty and staff of the month. All of the faculty and staff here at the center were able to nominate somebody. Miss Kristen Lurk, she's here with us today. Where is she? Oh, she's back there at a little child table where we feel most comfortable. So things that her colleagues said: Miss Kristen Lurk has taken on her new position like a pro. She approaches each day with patience, positivity, and grace, all while providing the students with high-quality experiences. Kristen is the perfect addition to the Early Childhood Center. She is patient, kind, loving, and incredibly knowledgeable. She approaches every situation with grace and compassion. Her dedication to her students shines through in everything she does. We are so lucky to have Miss Kristen on our team. And then finally, what's coming up in the month of October here at the center, we will celebrate Fire Safety Week. We have some fun fire hats on order coming in, and then hopefully the fire department will come visit with our students. We haven't heard back from them yet, but we're hoping to plan something with them. We'll be celebrating homecoming, National Hand Washing Day. Our school nurse is going to offer a program for the students on that day. We'll have our first parent-teacher conferences here at the center. We'll participate in Red Ribbon Week and Halloween. Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Nanya Gegg. I'm the building principal at St. Genevieve Elementary. So I brought a few notes here. In the top left corner, we had our new student breakfast, and we have 2 pictures. The first one is pictured with Mrs. Audra Kingery. She is our K2 counselor, and the second one is our 3-5 counselor, Miss Megan Williams. This year we welcomed 40 new students to St. Genevieve Elementary. 13 of those were at the 1st and 2nd grade level, and 27 of them were at the 3-5 level. As Dr. Taylor said, those numbers have fluctuated a little bit. We've lost a few and we've gained a few, but overall our classes are big in the upper grade level. Down at the bottom left, we have the class plant project that Mrs. Jonna Beckett, our librarian, did with our students. She read a book. She's actually here this evening. And we tried to have an assembly in our new gym, but the sound, like Bethany said, our sound system is a little to be desired in there. We have to work on the acoustics. It was loud. So we ended up Jonna pushed out the presentation to the teachers, and they were able to show the video of the book in the classrooms. And so the goal of the project is that not every class can have like a class pet, but everybody can have a class plant. So they were able to name their plants and decorate them. And I think throughout the year, the goal is like at Halloween, dress them up in costumes, at Christmas, make them festive, and to keep the plant alive, which I think a lot of our staff are really worried about. We actually have people that are caring for and taking care of other class plants because they're afraid they won't be kept alive. Over here on the right, this was a picture from our open house. This is Mrs. Viax with one of her 2nd grade students. We had a pretty good turnout at open house. It was down just a little bit. We were right around the 90%, but parking was an issue at our open house. I don't know if that deterred some people and they decided not to come, but I think we have a plan maybe in place for next year to make that a little bit better for everyone. Okay, so Bailey, this does have an arrow on it. Did you do that? Okay, so I'm new to Canva. I tried to spice up the slides, and then I really don't know what I'm doing yet, so Bailey had to help me out. So this picture right here is from our Chamber of Commerce visit. They came to visit and part of what we did, we had our dancing dragons, part of the team. They made like a little welcome crew. And you don't have to show the whole thing, but just a few seconds. It was a super inviting moment. We'll have you guys tell them to wait right here. You can stop it there. They get the gist. So they made like a little welcome tunnel and greeted them all coming into the building. And then we moved into the foyer and took a picture with them in our backdrop, but I didn't post that in there. Also, during our chamber visit, we had 2 5th grade students, Maggie Nagger and Ruby Wibbenmeyer. They led a tour. They just freelanced it, and they just went around and they highlighted the new parts of the building and showed off the old gym and how it had been renovated. And then they walked them up to Mrs. Koenig's classroom because she had a demonstration set up for some of our robotics students, and it was just easier to take them up there rather than to move the boards down. Ms. Koenig had Carter Oakes, Willa Hogan-Miller, Mason Hilbert, and Brooke Greither do a demonstration, and so that's pictured up there in the top middle. We also started our power groups last week, in addition to the ones that we've had in the past, like our Dancing Dragons and our art group. And Ms. Koenig is not doing a robotics group this year. That's going to be after school only. So we added our birthday bunch down here, Mr. Howe's class. Mr. Howe's actually here this evening. They're going to go around on Power Hour and deliver birthday treats to staff. So that was a great opportunity for that class. And then Mrs. Bowman has added the Power Tappers. She's been collecting tap shoes, and she's going to use our meeting room in the old gym. And there's a group of 25 students from the various grade levels that are going to learn how to tap dance. So that should be fun. And then over here on the right, there's just a couple of pictures from our grandparents VIP day. We have 5 third grade classes, so we took 1 class each day of the week. And then the grandparents and the VIPs got to come in and enjoy a breakfast with them. Right here, this slide is just a little bit of just the beginning of the school year. In the top left, it's a picture of myself, and then the next one is of Dr. Sulzer. We went into all the kindergarten classrooms and we read to the classrooms. They like to listen to us read at the beginning of the school year. And then just something I wanted to capture here, just some pictures around the building, like of our pretty bulletin boards. This one I think is outside Miss Beckett's library, that Beautiful Minds Grow Here. It's actually 3D, it sticks out, it's pretty cool. And then this one here is above Miss Clendenin's door when they leave, and it says, "I had the best day with you today," and so that's a great affirmation for kids to see as they leave her classroom. But the other pictures, I just went around that first week of school and popped into classrooms and just took little pictures of teachers. Didn't interact with them, didn't really say anything, took pictures and sent them a quick text of what I saw and how awesome it was of what they were doing. And then one of the things I noticed, oh, I actually put this picture in here twice, see, I'm not good at Canva. Miss Welsh, I couldn't find her at first because she was engaged in interacting and sitting with the students. So I wanted her to know that that was great, that she was interacting with students. And then we have some positive office referrals, and I know I broke my 5 to 6 slide quota, but I couldn't figure out how to do this. So, on the top row, we have Adeline Schmelsley, Joseph Schimento, Ryder Walsh, and Blaine Roberts. The second row, we have Cooper Kime, Emmy Thompson, Ellie Schmelsley, and Remy Davis. On the top row, Langston Roy, Louis Guilford, Ronan Wibbenmeyer, and Mason McDaniel. Bottom row, Troy Wrinkle, Hunter Hahn, Robert Shaw, and Isabel Hook. And then top row, Bentley Nagger, Broxton Hartley, Olivia Leckie, Braxton Finkley. Bottom row, Owen Jokerst, Easton Grine, Xander Welsh, and Lincoln Gendron. And similar to what Dr. Ketting said, these students were all chosen for various things, random acts of kindness, going above and beyond, being nice friends. And then the last slide, we selected our September featured teacher and super staff. And our featured teacher was Mr. Joe Howe. And his write-up said, "Mr. Joe has taken a job that can have huge challenges and has given it his all with a smile. Mr. Joe is awesome. He is a great addition to the special education team. He not only has a great relationship with students and fellow employees, but also any student he encounters. He is a safe space for them and brings a smile to everyone's faces. He goes above and beyond in the classroom and attends to each of his students' needs. He spends a lot of early mornings here and a lot of late evenings as well. He plans things that are creative and fun for his class. He's eager to jump in whenever help is needed. He works hard at keeping morale up and making everyone around him feel appreciated. Most importantly, Mr. Joe is always striving to make each day better than the one before for his students. He is truly amazing, and we are fortunate to have him on the Dragon team. And then our September super staff is Miss Brittany Lurk. Miss Brittany does her job as a para as if she has decades of experience doing so. She has such fun with her students and has built amazing relationships with them already. She goes above and beyond to supply things she knows are special to the students. She is kind and gentle and brings a positive energy and smile to the class every day. She jumps in to help and is never afraid. She is a natural. Brittany wears a smile and is great to work with. She is an absolute pleasure to work with, and we are fortunate to have her at SGE. And that's it for St. John Elementary.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm Nate Kingery, principal at Bloomsdale Elementary. So we'll jump in here. Wonders of Nature is our school theme, and something I want everybody to know about me and our hopes for our school. We have just this beautiful campus, 30 acres of green space, so we're trying to find ways to maximize that and just build that into our curriculum and incorporate it as much as we can. On the picture on the left, you'll see Miss Rapp's class. They have a daily stroll that they take about the grounds every day. And they're noticing the changes as the season's progressing, hunting for certain plants, any wildlife they can find out there, and it's just become part of their daily routine. It's really a neat thing to see. In the center there is our outdoor classroom that the Wholesome Local Plant and PTO has helped big time with. It's a beautiful space. It's got all the plantings. There are native plants, native pollinators that are individual plantings, and the kids are really using it. The PTO installed over here. I don't have photos. Some hammocks and swinging chairs that the kids are using a lot too for reading time and also learning out there. And then just the photo on the right, we have our first grade team likes to utilize the big open space in front of the building to go out. And again, instead of taking a 5-minute brain break on YouTube, they'll take the kids out and go just hunt for leaves and just get them outside. So the big focus so far has just been building community. I think we're doing a really good job of that right now. This photo on the left is super special. I don't know who snapped it. That was from open house. So right before all the parents came through, just a quick team huddle there. In the center, we have a crew every morning from about 7:15 to 7:30 that hangs out outside with some music, just greeting kids as they get off the bus and parents as they're walking their students in. And then I just had to add this photo on the right because we've got a couple students. It's just neat seeing the connections between grade levels and across grade levels and with students from all sorts of backgrounds and different needs. These are our positive office referrals. Jaden Payne, Rensley Edwards, Jagger LaPlante, Azalea Basile, Tanner Karen, Willow Faulkner, Macy Mentel, Lane Crossland, Kinley Marler, Khalif Brown, Ava Ross, Trevor Ward, Carson Overly, Toby Gleghorn, Kinsley Hughes, Owen Paisley, Caden Mickish, River Ammons, Carter Grind. I was feeling that music. It was really nice. Just a couple other photos of things happening around the building. This is our Bloomsdale Boost. So we have a group of students who in the morning take coffee, tea, lemonade, orders, and as part of some of their social skills, go around the building and pass those out to teachers and staff. The center picture is just one shot from our Grandparents' Day, which we hosted last week. We did all third grade at the same time. They set up stations in the cafeteria, on the playground for recess, and then taking them around and doing tours of the building. And then this was a super cool after-school meeting we had where the team got together. This was just volunteer. They came to work on portrait of graduate competencies, so we had a really good turnout that night and some really good conversation. And then our teacher of the month we'll start with, because she's here tonight, Miss Emily Geisner. There she is. Some of the notes said she has very high expectations for her kids, that she's an awesome addition to the team, very connected, making great connections with her kids. And one of my favorite compliments that she got was that she's got the chops of a veteran teacher already. A lot of the stuff she's doing is stuff that takes people years to get sometimes. And then Lisa Fargo is our Title I aide. People said about her, she's a team player, always smiling, goes the extra mile. And this morning was a perfect example. We had some data team meetings, so she had a little more free time than she normally would. And at 7 o'clock, she was at my office saying, okay, I've got these time slots free, where do you need me? Instead of just doing whatever. So that's her all the time. And then every morning, we do a morning meeting school-wide. So Fridays are kind of focused on just community building and fun, and getting the kids pumped up and excited about being a part of Bloomsdale. So the photo on the left is from a little competition we had between our Bloomsdale boys and some district office staff. And the stakes were pretty high, but district office did win. So I'm just do like 20 seconds of this clip. This was the...
You just want to have fun? Yes. You're telling me...
These were the losers, by the way.
You just want to have fun? Yeah. Okay, let's have some fun.
So because of their loss, they had to do a 2-minute lip sync for the school. That's Kellen Bosler and Dylan Friedmeier. So that's just, again, Fridays, the morning meeting focus is just community building. So if you're bored, this Friday we've been raising money for childhood cancer, and they will be duct taping me to the wall. You're more than welcome to come check it out. Yes.
Where do we donate?
Yeah, so it's $1 per piece of duct tape. So we'll sell a roll for $100. Yeah, this Friday. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As always, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Just like the other buildings, we've had some busy weeks behind us, but very positive weeks. One of the things, you can go ahead, Dr. McClard, one of the things that I talk about often, not just in the building, but with the other buildings too, is just how quickly it felt like we found the groove this year. And that's a really great feeling to have. You can see from the photos on the left there, our kids are already in tune. They got the spirit. They're doing the green and white thing. Bailey, this photo at the bottom left, is that one of yours? Yes. That is Pulitzer. Chef's kiss. I think that might be my new favorite photo there of Nolan and Jackson in the classroom. I love that one. I just wanted to share with you some of the brightness, the mood, the happiness that we have at St. John Middle School already, and how nice it is to be there this quickly in the school year. Do want to remind everybody, Picture Day is tomorrow at St. John Middle School. I have left breadcrumbs everywhere for people if they want to do their pre-ordering online. In the announcements on our website, also messaged out. It's in the announcements as well for the kids, also in Google Classrooms. It is everywhere. So if you haven't taken the time to do that yet, I'm talking to the people present in the room. If you haven't taken the time to do that, you can still do that tonight. Thank you, Dr. McClark. These photos on the left are from the visit that we had with the chamber. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that works in middle school. I always take them on the tour, but then I drop those chamber members off, or those actually from the leadership group, the leadership group members off with the kids in the old gym. And they have kind of a student expo set up where they go around and they visit the booths and they talk to the kids that are representing different clubs, activities, organizations, school-related things like that, and I completely back off and just let the kids do that. They are the greatest representatives of this school. They're much better than I am at really capturing what that experience is like, so I just let them do it. And it's a great pro-social experience for them. It's a great way for them to meet some community members that they might not otherwise get to. And those community members that are on that leadership team love it for those same reasons too. They get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth and really get to see how the kids are involved. And so that's how that works. I just wanted to share that with you. That's one of my favorite things that we do all year long is that chamber experience. At the top right, I left a couple pictures there for you of the dragon groups that we already have started. The first one is our spirit group, and I don't know if you can tell what they're doing, but they're cutting out little emblems for students for us to post on our advisory doors, things like volleyballs, like footballs that we write the students' names on. So we post those on the advisory doors so we can tell, there's somebody that's involved in some activity here. But it's not just the athletic things too. We also do things like music and drama when playtime comes along, and so our spirit group takes care of that. The one right next to it here is a new group this year called Susie's Sidekicks. And I don't know if you've ever met Susie, but this is she. She is a mannequin that lives in our counseling office. And for years, Mrs. Meyer has used Susie to teach students about careers. But now she's employed the students in helping her with that. So about every 4 weeks or so, the students get to change Susie's outfit to represent some sort of career. But in addition to that, they also do the research to help students learn what kind of education preparation is required for this career. What's the job outlook for this? What's the median income for this? So they're not just having fun with the mannequin, they're also doing a little career exploration too. Isn't it fun how we sneak those things in there like that? And so hats off to Susie's Sidekicks. At the bottom right, our 8th grade volleyball girls won their home tournament on Saturday. Isn't it always nice to win at home? They got that out of the way for us on Saturday. And I love this picture because not only is that a great group of athletes, that's a great group of kids. And I'm really proud of them and how they represent us at St. John Middle School. Dragons on Fire. I have a cheat sheet. I need to tell you my dilemma. I am the least type A person you'll ever meet. I'm okay with, flying off the cuff about things. I'm also okay with things being asymmetrical, but for some reason, this one bothered me because this poor guy is down there all by himself, and I really thought about making him his own slide. But I couldn't violate the 5-slide rule, Nanya. But so then I thought I'll just save him for next month. But then his mom posted today, so I know she knows he got it. So here we go, folks. In order: Casey Carlson, Chloe Worthy, Allie Mae Hook, John Muellersman, a.k.a. Fritz, Adriana Ontiveros, Eris Forrestel, Reese Evelsizer, Colton Deck, Malin Bates, Nolan Wolk, Jackson Kelly, James Tucker, Wyatt Burr, Journey Blankenship, Tim Wolk, Caleb Wolk, Harrison Weibrecht, Richard Johnson Jr., Nathaniel Rayburn, Lydia Berdinka, Liam Hughes, Kanan Kwan, Easton Mertzluft, Tommy Keith, and Remington Zuspin, all by himself down there. Congratulations to those guys for being our first batch of Dragons on Fire. Likewise, we want to congratulate Colleen Braun. She won our first Spotlight Award this year, which is impressive because she's brand new to our building this year. So she started off the school year in fine fashion. You can see the kinds of comments that she made there, but if I can just summarize it for you, I want to tell you she has come in and shown us a great combination of work ethic and personality. She's filling a very tough spot for us as a classroom para whose schedule moves around all day long depending on where the needs are. And I can tell you, she's never a step behind. She's always lockstep with everything that needs to be taking place, and sometimes a step ahead of this old man. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate Colleen. I also want to tell you, and I've shared this with you before, how much I love reading the nominations in total across the board. And this month, something unusual happened. We had 16 individuals nominated in our building. That's over half of my staff. And I can't tell you how heartwarming it is to know that we have that many people that were recognized by their peers. So it makes me feel like we're in a really great spot. And Colleen is an excellent example of that. Congratulations, Colleen. As I return to my seat, I want to leave you a look at what's ahead, with a few of the highlights being Picture Day, of course, tomorrow, as I mentioned. On October 5th, band trip to St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. They will be watching, I believe that presentation is Harry Potter, and then they have another one in the spring that is some of the clips from Marvel, across all of the Marvel movies. So that should be a lot of fun for those guys. And then October 17th, if you can believe it, is the end of the first grading period, what we used to call first quarter. We're almost there. I can't believe how quickly that's gone. So I'll leave this for you. I'll return to my seat. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
I am extremely excited, and I think having these 4 individuals here with me tonight really encapsulates how amazing the start has been at SGHS. So I would like to introduce Eli Bennett, Abby Woodard, Bree Foff, and Anna Fisher, who's going to get to talk here in just a second. 4 of these guys are part of my principal's advisory group. We've got 9 members this year. And one of the things that we are going to do a little differently, you heard a lot from Anna last year, and we are going to mix it up this year and get all of those students involved with the principal's report, so you guys get an opportunity to meet some of the students that really get to work with me so closely. We meet 2 times a month and during advisory, and they really have my ear, but really make a lot of the change that happens within the high school. They're the kids that I trust. They're the kids that I go to when we need suggestions, when we need ideas, when I need feedback on things. This is the group of students that I get to work with day in and day out. So I feel extremely lucky, and really the fact that there are 4 of them here tonight really showcases how awesome of a start to the school year that we've had. So without further ado, Anna, it is all you, girl.
We've had a great start at SJHS so far this year. We really got our community back and our family, because that's the culture we foster at SJHS. Up here, this was our first running of the halls. We had that on the first Friday. A lot of energy was brought, a lot of new cheers, and our new lights at the football field. Right here, we got Keely Fowler receiving a positive office referral, and right here we have Keely Aki and Lily Safi just taking a picture at lunch, fostering the community. Our positive office referrals this semester, Reese Wibbenmeyer got 2, Gunnar Anston, Kara Gibson, Tucker Winch, Rylan Inman, Rihanna Hoskins, Noah Willett, Alexia Wolk got 2, Nick Warren got 2, Lydia Ollinger, Tylen Hager, Keely Fowler, Trenton Weber, Kinley Ann Brawley, Ren Coulter, Alexis Mills, Charlotte Mooney, Lincoln Nopolis, Mackenzie Greer, Shaylin Chimento, Roxana Hudson, Jake Parker, Olivia Bays, and Jeremy Dunsey. Our Elk Student of the Month was Eleanor McClin, and our Rotary Student of the Month was Emma Gegg. We've had tons of student engagement and teacher engagement, staff engagement. Since the starting of the school year, Kreitler's class they've made boats and seen how much weight they could put on them before they could sink. The freshmen always get really hype about that. Microscopes, we've been looking at tissues in anatomy class. Forensics has been doing a lot of stuff. And SDS, School Development Seminar, we've been working a lot on revamping the Commons, and we've been working on this collage. It's gonna wrap all the way around the soffit in the Commons, and it's gonna, from the 1940s, we've gotten the yearbooks out and collected pictures from the 1940s to present day, and it's gonna be a gradient from black and white to color, and it's gonna wrap all the way around the soffit along with the welcome mural that we're working on getting up right now. And we did have a tennis team at some point. I don't know when it was, but we were going through the yearbooks, and we did have a tennis team. And Miss Brumfield was on the tennis team. I learned that too. And then our drafting design class, sports broadcasting has been going really well this year. Art classes, Miss Bowman always does a great job. Yearbook's been walking around, taking pictures, and just our teachers have been doing a really great job. Love all of our teachers. They're really great, and they care about every one of our students. Fall activities. Volleyball has a 10-3-1 record, and they are playing currently at home versus Saxony. Football has a 4-0 record, and they play on Friday versus Park Hills at home. Cross country has had a successful start, and we've had multiple placers in both the girls and the boys division. Same with girls golf. They've been very successful, winning multiple tournaments already. And then I'd also just like to highlight marching band, color guard, emeralds, and cheer. They do a great job performing at our Friday night games. And our or teacher of the month is Mr. Roth. A student wrote, "Every day he goes out of his way to make sure every one of his students are doing okay, and each day I grow more respect for him. Even in the most stressful situation, he not only knows how to smile and be positive, but encourages others to do the same. He makes it a goal of his own to have a connection with each of his students. He also contributes to our school in many ways, finding a new way to make it a better place each day. Even if I enter his room without a smile, I know I will leave with one. He has had such a positive impact on our school." And I agree with this, Mr. Roth, top of the line. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you.
And I would say next time you're in the building, come check out that collage. She didn't take enough credit for how neat it is. They were putting pictures together. Anna and Katie Swice have been taking that project on, but it is so neat, and they're starting to wrap the side of it now and starting to come on the other side over by the commons. And it's so cool just watching students stand there and look at it. But I think the neatest part of it is our students are engaged and involved with the past. And I feel like we've talked a lot about family and community. That's bringing that family and community from the past to the present. They were finding pictures from Mr. Engelman and Mr. Warner back in their early days when they were just starting teaching, and the kids were walking around showing other students those things. I just thought it was such a cool moment.
Yeah, Dr. Boyd's like, "When do we put more of these up?"
Back in their early days, like when we were in school. Speak for yourself. I included you in the group. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I believe that's all I have.
All right. Just double checking. All right, next on the agenda, we have unfinished business, and the first item is the Prop SG update.
So we had the retirees come in. What did we call it, Bailey? Return to Dragon Country. And we had 8 to 10.
I think that'd be about 15 if you come in later.
Yeah, so people were coming in and out when they could. It's kind of like getting a kindergarten class lined up in a straight line. They know so many people, they've taught so many people, they're related to so many people. We would turn around and one would be lost in a classroom and, hugging, and you'd have to go track them down. But it was a really long day, but a really, really fun day. We got to show off all of our new facilities and answer questions about all of the Prop SG projects, and it was just nice to have them back. I hope we can do that again, maybe next semester, and give them a little more time, because we kind of put that together last minute and still had 15 people. So I know they went out with their peers and they talked about it, and more people are interested, so I can't wait to do that again. We also had the Chamber of Commerce Leadership Group come in for tours. And we spent a day taking them around and showing them our new facilities, and you can see that picture up in the top right is when Dr. Gegg had her presentation. In the top middle, that was when they came in and took a picture with those kiddos. Bowman has started on our wrestling facility. You can see on the right-hand side of that picture, they have moved a tremendous amount of dirt. I think where those machines are is about an 8-foot drop from where the parking lot is. So they had to dig down quite a bit to get some foundations laid. It won't be quite that steep there, and we're going to put a wall in as well. But that's where it's going to go. It's going to go perpendicular to the pack, and then hopefully out in front of it we'll get some additional parking as well. Concrete foundations are getting ready to go in. There's a general idea of what the outside of the building is going to look like. You can't really see it well from this picture, but the bottom portion of that is going to be stone, and the top portion is going to be metal, and then a little rendering of what it's going to hopefully look like inside. We're still working with Jared to get the floor nailed down. We meet in about a week and a half with the architects and our construction manager to nail all that down. This is a picture of what the inside of the building is going to look like with the big wrestling area The locker rooms on the right-hand side, and then a golf simulator room on the left-hand side, and then some additional storage. I showed this to you before, but it's worth looking at again. The architects spent quite a bit of time on it. So it is going to be a metal building, but it's going to be a quality facility.
Here's a question for Coach Bunnell, but how much bigger is it going to be for like practices?
So currently right now we have 2 mats that are just under 38 by 38. This is going to give us essentially 4 full-size high school mats that are under 26 by 56. So this will help us service, meet our needs in the community with our Little League, which I talked to Clint tonight. He said that they are already, their first night are already at the number that they normally allow, which they'll probably end up having to allow more just because the first night signing up, they've never had this many people sign up on the first night. So big things, those guys do an outstanding job, great people, also great role models in our community. So this is a blessing for our school and our community.
And with as much as our wrestling program, I mean, adding a girls wrestling team, which is as popular as that is, thinking about where they are currently and the number of kids in that area currently versus going to this facility is going to be a tremendous improvement.
We're popping at the seams just at the high school level in that room right now. So.
The district plans to then renovate the current wrestling room and weight room to provide additional space and updated equipment to better support our student athletes. And then field lighting. We didn't get to, I mean, we scored a lot of touchdowns that first home night, and luckily some of them were in the second half, so it was dark enough to be able to see the lights. You couldn't really see the lights when they came out for their entrance. I would encourage everybody to come out Friday night. It should be dark enough at 7 o'clock for us to see the effects and get the full effect of what the lighting can do down at the football field. But in addition to that, we've been keeping a close eye on the softball field. The softball field is done. The lights are ready to go. They are on the app. You can turn them on and off from your phone now. They did a fantastic job. I think they showed up on a Tuesday and had all the poles set and were leaving by mid-morning Friday. Quality operation, must-go lighting contracts with all-purpose erectors to come in and get all that stuff done. They came back later the next week, did all the trenching, got all the lights hooked up. So softball field's ready to go. They have brought all the equipment in for the baseball field, and they are working through finishing some other jobs, and in between those, or when they get called off of those, they're going to come back to our job site and start work there. Hopefully, they only ran into 2 drilling issues where they hit rock on the softball field, and my hope is that they don't hit any rock at the baseball field and they're able to put those bases in smoothly. So coming along rather nicely. I believe that's the progress chief update.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have the instructional program presentation for high school physical education and health.
I don't know.
Your first, Sherry?
I'm Adam Cherry, by the way. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Jess Holler.
Jared Bonnell.
And Kristen Barnes is coaching.
She skipped out. I'll go first. First thing I want to point out is that I put this guy on here all by myself. So some of you young people are like, oh, that's really easy. Bobby Weiler will tell you that is not easy. I got him on there. We're kind of going backward here, but body conditioning, Coach Fowler and I tag team that in the afternoon, and then Coach Coleman and I do it together in the mornings. But we've done a really good job of getting our 8th and 9th graders into the weight room. So with body conditioning, we just build on that. The younger kids, the 8th and 9th graders, is more linear type stuff. Body conditioning, we do stuff to more get their bodies in uncomfortable positions. Along with the weight room, a lot of plyometrics. Dr. Boyd will attest, we use stuff till it can't really get used anymore. We got new plyo boxes this year, and I think Coach Wyke and I ordered our old plyo boxes his first year as head coach, which was like 2016. So we got good use out of those old plyo boxes. We do a lot of plyos. I'm not going to bore you with like examples of that, but agility, different ladders, things like that. We go in the restroom a lot, so that we'll figure that out. Hopefully we get some turf in the weight room. We try to get mobility stretching. That's a big thing that kids lack nowadays, or people like me. And then just overall coordination to go along with the mobility stretching. Just trying to become better, more mobile, more healthy athletes. So that's kind of body conditioning in a nutshell.
9th grade PE, Coach Sherry and I teach that. I teach the girls and he teaches the boys. We cover all the team sports, volleyball, basketball, flag football. We have quite a few new games as well, and Mr. Balnell will touch base on one of those. It's called CrossNet, and he has a picture in the next slide, but it's volleyball and Okay, sorry. I played it today for the first time, and it was pretty awesome. Volleyball and Foursquare combined. We do fitness testing at the 9th grade level that is reported to the state. The mile run, flexibility, upper body endurance. We also do agility and coordination activities in 9th grade PE. This is a picture of Coach Sherry's 9th grade boys lifting weights the other day. But it's overall, it's the base level PE course. It is a graduation requirement. You have to pass this class in order to take team sports or body conditioning.
I, as well as Coach Barnes, teach team sports. This is again, what she said, it's a tier 2 PE class, so you have to pass, you need to pass freshman PE before you're allowed to take team sports or body conditioning. We typically focus on just enjoyable team sports activities. A lot of times it's just your basic core activities, team sports like football, and I know soccer is a curse word around here, soccer, other things like that. We try to do a lot of things that get the kids moving around the full period. Days that you are inside, it's a little more difficult doing some of those things, so we've come up with like indoor games like you guys have probably all heard of hog ball and two base, and we do some ultimate frisbee inside. I know with the heat this past week we did some ultimate frisbee, and initially they always complain about ultimate frisbee. By the end of the class period they love it and they're like, let's do that again. Actually, the winter months will get kind of down on you. You're not going to be able to go outside, so we'll switch over to some lifetime stuff like pickleball and some other things like that. We have this year, I think this is my largest class, came in 5th hour. I think we had started out with 46 kids in it, and I think we're down to just under 40, but still that's quite a few kids. So we run into space issues. So if you go to the next slide, the CrossNet volleyball that we got this year it's really nice. You can play doubles, and it's also really nice because it's easy to set up and take down. So if we want to take it out on the football field, we can do that. Like on this day, we had 2 nets up. We had both volleyball nets up, and we had kids that were like rotating to different stations. So it's nice. They are using the same skills just in a different manner.
All right, I teach adaptive PE, and this is a few highlights from last year. I was able to take the kids swimming. This was their favorite field trip ever, they said, and it's in our town. So this year I hope to take them a couple of times. And this is a picture of one of their next favorite activities at school, are riding our tricycles and bikes. They love them. I have 4. They're never not in use during 3rd hour. You'll catch 4 kids on them all the time. But adaptive PE is an individualized instruction course, so depending on their ability and their disability or medical needs, I adapt the course to them. So with the different sports I teach, with the muscular strength, endurance, some kids' goals might be their core strength, some kids might just be walking, or their proper gait, or using reciprocal patterns on the stairs. So it's very individualized. I love to take them and do lots of fun things. And swimming, it was honestly the best day I've had in 17 years here. That was awesome. And we are introducing something new. We're going to get the ball rolling. We are going bowling on Thursday, and I'm really pumped about that, in hopes to you can go to the next slide, hopes to compete in Special Olympics bowling. So the competition is in December at the Bonne Terre Fun Center. So I'm taking 12 kids. I'm taking my adaptive PE class. I'm taking the Special Olympic athletes and Miss Lexi's Room 22 Life Skills class, where I'm taking all of them to the bowling alley on Thursday. We're going to go get lunch, have some fun, and hopefully get them loving bowling, and so we can go compete. This is Special Olympics. This was my first year doing it. It was a new experience, and I loved every bit of it. Let's see. We compete at Unified Track. We host our own Unified Track meet. We also compete at the MAAA Unified Track meet. And then this is pictures from the state track meet. We went to Kirksville. It was a ton of fun. They got to go to a dance where some kids dressed up in full tuxes and ballroom gowns. We went to a bingo, and then we competed at the state track meet. It was a ton of fun. It was a good experience, and I love just being with the whole organization because it's just fabulous to see. So that was in Kirksville, and it'll be at the Kirksville for the next 2 years, I believe. What else? Oh, and we also did the Easter extravaganza this past year. It was an Easter egg hunt event for the community. I had 4 bounce houses in the gym. It looked like Monkey Joe's, but that was just a fundraiser to help fund some of my fun adventures. So, and this year, Lexi and I are going to bring back Polar Plunge. Last year we had a date conflict, so we are working on making that happen, and we're going to add that to the Easter egg hunt. So, it was a fun community event. Okay, health, this is Miss Barnes' class. Every freshman, it's a half a credit, so it's a 1 semester course, and it is, and again, another graduation requirement. Freshman health is designed to educate students about lifelong health and the influences that may impact their personal health. This is an activity that she does every year. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it's their different ideas, and they connect all their different ideas together. And this is one of her classes outside. And then the EMT class is very cool. In coordination with the St. John Ambulance District, the students have the opportunity to take this course, and by the end of the year, they can come out with a certification to be an EMT. Last year, they had 6 students all pass their verbal test, and 1 is currently going to take the EMT written assessment to become an EMT. I think it's very cool that we have the opportunity to allow our kids to get this certification to get a full-time career right out of high school. And if they want to be a paramedic, then they can also add that on. So it's a fabulous, I love it, so. And this is what I just said about the EMT.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, that's okay. But does anybody have any questions about our curriculum and what we do? But we all have a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the Emergency Operations Plan.
Yes. I believe you all have the emergency operations plan. As you know, we don't share it out publicly because there's some information there that we would like to keep amongst our staff in case of the event of an emergency. But I did want to highlight a few changes. There's been updates, of course, in personnel. As you noticed during the new teacher meet and greet, we had a few names shift. We also had a few roles within the emergency operations shift as well. And then maps we've been building, so we've been updating maps and exit plans as well. We've had ongoing training on the app and with teams and drills, and so that's something within the plan that we've updated. And then emergency personnel meeting is coming up, and that's something that influences the plan as well. So the input that we get from our local responders and our SROs and our nurses and administrators helps us develop our plan and make it a little bit more robust. We've also taken into account Senate Bill 68 and its impact, and it will continue to impact our emergency operations plan, one of which is the annual site security assessment, which we will have to conduct, and that may down the road influence what we need to do with facilities or short-term budgeting. Behavioral threat assessments is something that we have always done and we've been ahead of the curve on, but it's something that now is required to go with the student when they transfer. So we've worked with the registrar since we now have a district-wide registrar, and talked about that process. Stop the bleed. Again, I do have to say, like, as I read through this bill, like, we need to brag on the people within our district because they are just, everything that was in there, it was, well, we're already addressing that with cell phones. Our administrators and our teachers in the secondary level, we're already addressing that. Stop the bleed, Nurse Gina and the other nurses, already ahead of it. Same with the cardiac emergency response plan. It's the same thing. They've been working to put AEDs in place. Now there are some little components that we need to make sure that we put in place as far as like, well, we want to mark the stop the bleed kits on our maps. But just little things versus, well, some people have to overhaul their entire plan. And then there's also the addition of, we need to name a second school safety coordinator. This is to help with continuity when maybe somebody's not in the district or is off-site, and then there's something that happens, you still have that second person there that's familiar with the emergency operations. And then that comes with prescribed training that's either, we'll most likely use the Center for Education, Emergency Safety, which is through MSBA training. I did attend that for 3 days. It's an intense 3 days. It's very serious subject matter for almost, it seems 12 hours, but I think it's about 10 hours worth of material for 3 days. And so that's something that we will continue to attend. And all of that to say that that impacts our emergency operations plan, and it will continue to evolve. Did you have any other questions or comments for me for that? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I will make a motion to approve the updates to the St. John County R2 School District Emergency Operations Plan for the 2025-2026 school year.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the, well, we move on to new business, and the first item there is the assessment plan and updated testing schedule.
Okay. So this is a plan that we have updated. There's not a whole lot that's a major overhaul. I think the biggest piece is the benchmark for K through 5. NWEA added a fluency piece to address part of literacy bill, but then it was not an approved test because I guess they weren't able to meet the requirements that DESE gave them, and so we switched over to iReady. And so with doing that, it already had a benchmark, so the elementary piloted it the year before and said, yes, I think we can work with this. So we're using iReady K through 5 to address the literacy component and then also to serve as our benchmark. And then they are keeping NWEA for 5th grade science because they wanted something for their goals in science to be able to track where they're at. We are keeping NWEA for our secondary because it reflects what they're doing up at the secondary level. But with that, we're having to look at some of our students that are entering secondary with a reading success plan. And there's requirements for testing with those students to exit them. So Tiff Wolk, one of our instructional coaches for ELA, is working on trying to come up with the best plan to take what we're currently doing and then adding as little as we need to so we're not over testing those kids to still get the information that we need. So NWEA will serve a piece of that, and we only have a handful of students that we're having to test, but that may be something as the years progress that we need to kind of look at. And then there was an update on ILA policy that's referenced in the plan. With that, it basically took the guidelines that we relied on for testing out with our MSBA update. So I changed the policy to reflect the one that's in our policy, and then I also added the testing guidelines that essentially reflected what the guidelines from the previous ILA were. So we still had those guidelines for our staff to sign off on with test security. And that's all I have for you on assessment plan.
Thank you.
Just one question. Can you talk to me about the NAEP? Are we going to select that? Is that going to take their...
They reach out to us, and I think, was it last year or the year before? Okay, last year.
The last 3 years.
So it's a random selection. Using finger quotes on that because we seem to get randomly selected every time that cycle comes up. I did hear not too long ago from Dr. Draper that they have notified the schools for the next round, and we're not on that list.
So, and help me understand, right, because we got the waiver from DESE, right, for the map testing, plus the federal waiver?
They are working, yeah, so we got the waiver for APR.
Because didn't DESE put out communication that the federal government also waived us for map testing, correct?
They are working on a grant. So the last that I've heard, and you can jump into Dr. Mercer, is they were approved to work on a pilot. And so what they're working on right now is testlets, essentially, not the ones that are already out there, but a version of that to reflect some of the 3 through 5 testing that's going on.
Jerry, is that your understanding too, the article I sent you about the waiver for the map test? Didn't I send you that?
No, if you did, I missed it.
There was an article put out by Dr. Esslinger about
Yeah.
Missouri receiving a waiver.
Right.
That
Oh,
sounds
yes,
like
you
it.
did send me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That we did receive the,
And I think we're on our way. DESE, the last I heard, and I've been working on safety and some of the other things, is that DESE was partnering with SRSN to develop what will it look like, and then they even went on a roadshow, which I did go to, where they have a plan for like releasing it. So I think they're starting with upper elementary and math, and they're doing a small pilot for people that want to participate, and then the next year they're going full tilt with just that subject, and then they're going to do they're going to step it in with ELA. I think ELA is the more challenging one for them to kind of break it up. And there's questions about, well, how do you still maintain that test security? So there's still a few questions that they have, but they are working together to create that.
Because the article that DESE put out mentioned the Department of Education
Right.
providing the waiver, but maybe
I think you're right on track with that. Many years ago, when we joined the Missouri Assessment Partnership, we took on NWEA in the hopes that we would collect that data and be able to provide it to an organization to get the waiver. So we were giving both tests. It's a lot of testing. But the NWEA, in my opinion, is better because it's a through-year test. It's not an autopsy. It's not after the fact. Our teachers are getting real-time data. This waiver has a transition period built in while they build the testlets and while they work on the different subjects and all that stuff. So my understanding is we're still going to have to give the map during this transition period while they develop all of this other stuff. And then as the materials that are produced become proven and get better solidified and we get more professional eyes on it and just narrow it in on what we want it to be, the map test will go away. And then that's my understanding.
And so the roadmap, I'm making it up, at 3 to 5 years from now, it could be NWEA or a likewise testlet and no longer map testing.
It won't be NWEA. They're most likely will go with another company, but yes.
Okay.
But it has to, I'm assuming, come from a okayed group that this cohort picks.
It'll have to be taken to the state board.
Yeah.
And they have to be kept in the loop. And now that
Yeah.
they're partnered with DESE and the SRSN, there's a whole lot of cooks in the kitchen.
See, because we don't only have a certain amount of time that we're
The
waiver anyway, right? So,
yeah.
I mean,
I think the confusion comes in is that we've been participating in this for a few years.
Mhm.
Now we have the waiver from the federal government, but they still want to do the work. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I'm kind of asking. They still want to do the work that we've done already?
With a company that wasn't approved to do the work.
Just so we're clear.
Yes. So we chose NWEA, and Dr. Mercer was part of vetting some of these different options because they are an established nonprofit organization that comes from other states, that this is what they do in other states. So that's why the committee ultimately went with them, because they were already tried and true in other states and producing data for them.
Okay.
So status quo for now, but we're on the right track, hopefully.
I'll make a motion to approve the assessment plan and update testing schedule for 2025-26 school year.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the addition of a special education teacher.
I'm going to get some help from Dr. Drury. She continually monitors need. She continually works with our process coordinators to identify areas where we can better support our students, and when it gets to the point where the workload becomes too much, she comes in my office and asks for money. That's why we're before you now. She began working on this several weeks ago, if not a month or so ago.
Yeah. I look at it all year long,
Yeah.
honestly.
At Bloomsdale Elementary, and just keeping her eye on things. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, little history. This position, at 3 years, this is my 4th year. So my first year in this position, we had 3 teachers at Bloomsdale Elementary, special education. Right now, we have 2.5. That is not meeting the needs at Bloomsdale Elementary. When Dr. Taylor shows you the number of enrollment, he's looking at numbers of bodies. I always am looking at numbers of bodies and minutes of service. And that together is where we're getting into a little bit of a bind. Our minutes of service are large, so we need some help. That leads me to ask you for some help. We continue to look at the pull-out services, which we talked about years ago, what the benefits of that. The benefits still continue to be shown. We're moving some kiddos out into co-teaching, more in the 4th grade level now, some in the 5th grade, and middle and high school. I don't know how many sections you guys have, but you have quite a few. This position that I'm going to talk about tonight will also be shared with the middle and high school, because we do have some of our study skills classes are getting large. To give you a little short synopsis of a study skills class, you could be having a middle or high school teacher alone with 10, 12 students working on maybe 10 or 12 different coursework. If it's a freshman working on world history, might be a junior working on their science and some of those things. So you're trying to juggle all of that while helping the child with a reading disability, wherever their disability is. Those classes are getting to be 10 plus. So I'm talking to Dr. Mercer and Dr. Boyd. This position would also help in those 2 buildings as well. So it would be a full-time teaching position. It would be split morning and middle and high school. Afternoon would be at St. John Elementary, and then we would talk about that half position you all granted us last year. That would become full-time at Bloomsdale. That's what we're looking at. I think that's everything it just comes down to numbers of bodies and minutes of services needed. So, any questions? It's needed, it is. Our special education staff is really solid right now too, and they're looking out for our kids, and when they're saying, gosh, this is what I want to do, but I'm trying to balance this, because again, in some of those classes you have maybe a 9th grade to a 12th grade flow, a kindergarten and a 3rd grader and a 5th grader, so if we can lower those class sizes, that helps immensely in providing that specially designed instruction for kids. If no questions, I'll go back into my, I don't normally come up here, but I was kind of lost in the crowd.
Thank you.
If there's no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the addition of a special education teacher for the district effective September 23rd, 2020.
Oh, okay, Barry.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to the district update. Any personnel changes approved during closed session this evening, we provided in the draft meeting minutes within 72 hours of adjournment. Before we adjourn open session, I just want to say one thing. I want to thank all the parents, students, teachers, retirees, alumni, everyone here tonight. We appreciate you all and your passion for your children and your students. Thank you all for helping us raise our future community leaders and help keep it the amazing community that it is. And the last thing I want to know, since we have such a large crowd, I want to let you know that we meet every 3rd Tuesday right here.
Except next month.
Except next month.
And actually, except in August and September.
Check the website.
But we'd love to have you.
We would love to have you.
Yes, it's good to see so many many people.
All I need now is an adjournment to go to
I
closed
will
session.
make that motion to adjourn and resume the closed session. I motion that the Board of Education adjourn the open session of the regular meeting and resume the closed meeting with a closed record and a closed vote for purposes listed in revised Missouri statute sections 610.021. My computer's on the fritz, so.
Would you like me to do a roll call?
Mr. Boba has heard a lot of heavy sighing over here from me.
You struggled through the night.
I did, so I'm going to let you go ahead now.
All right, Mr. Bosler?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Ms. Riesinger?
Yes.
Ms. Diesel?
Yes.
Mr. Bova, yes. Mr. Gettiger?
Yes.
And Jamie?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no. Thank you all for coming. Sorry, Ms. Baloo.
Thank you, teachers.